Hi, in this video, we will cover the final head of ratios called profitability ratios. Profitability ratios are expressed in percentage. They measure the financial performance or profitability of the business. We will cover gross profit ratio, operating profit ratio, net profit ratio, and return on investment or return on capital employed ratio. So let's begin with the first ratio called the gross profit ratio. 1. Gross profit ratio establishes the relationship between gross profit and the revenue from operations, helps to determine the efficiency with which production and or purchase operations and selling operations are carried on. To get the ratio, gross profit multiplied by 100 divided by revenue from operations. Answer will be in percentage. How do we arrive at the gross profit? We will take the revenue from operations, in other words, the net sales, minus the cost of revenue from operations, that is the cost of goods sold. In order to arrive at the cost of revenue from operations, use the same method which we followed in inventory or stock turnover ratio, where we calculated cost of revenue from operations as the numerator in that ratio. Please note this very important point. Unless specified otherwise, gross profit is always considered to be a percentage of revenue from operations. So where it's given that gross profit ratio is, let's say, 25%, this means that the gross profit ratio is 25% of the revenue from operations. Unless it's specifically mentioned that gross profit ratio is 25% of cost of revenue from operations, we will take it as, if it's just given 25% or 25% of revenue from operations, then we'll consider it to be this. Now this information is vital not only for calculation or solving sums under profitability ratios, it's also relevant for solving sums under the head of activity ratios or performance ratios. So please remember, where GP ratio is just given as 25%, it is 25% of revenue from operations, not 25% of cost of revenue from operations. So we've completed the first ratio, gross profit ratio. Let's move on to the next ratio called the operating ratio. We'll move on to the second ratio called the operating ratio. Establishes the relationship between operating cost. Now this operating cost is cost of revenue from operations plus operating expenses and the revenue from operations. It helps to assess the operational efficiency of the business, helps to ascertain the percentage of revenue from operations that will be covered by the cost of revenue from operations plus the operating expenses. To get this ratio, it's operating cost multiplied by 100 divided by revenue from operations. The answer will be in percentage. What is the definition of operating cost? It is the cost incurred for the operating activities of the business and is equal to the cost of revenue from operations, or COGS, plus the operating expenses. When the statement of profit and loss as per Part 2, Schedule 3 of Companies Act 2013 is given, we can directly arrive at the operating cost. We need to take the amount against cost of materials consumed, plus the purchases of stock in trade, plus the changes in inventories of work in progress, finished goods and stock in trade, plus the employee benefit expenses, plus the depreciation and amortization, and also take other expenses without including any non-operating expenses and provision for tax. Finance cost should be totally excluded. Do not include finance cost. So if we follow this formula and include these expenses, we can get the operating cost directly in case the statement of profit and loss as per Part 2, Schedule 3 of Companies Act 2013 is given. Now sometimes we may have to arrive at the cost of revenue from operations and the operating expenses separately and add them up to arrive at the operating cost. Now in that case, we will find out the cost of revenue from operations using the same method discussed in inventory turnover ratio. And to arrive at the total of the operating expenses, we will add the following: office and administration expenses, selling and distribution expenses, employee benefit expenses, depreciation and amortization, interest on short-term loans, as well as bad debts, discount allowed, and provision for bad and doubtful debts. So we will add these two up, the cost of revenue from operations and the total of the operating expenses, and arrive at the operating cost and go ahead with determining the operating ratio. So we finished with the second ratio called the operating ratio. We'll move on to the third ratio called the operating profit ratio. The third ratio is operating profit ratio. It establishes the relationship between operating profit and the revenue from operations, or the net sales. It helps to determine the operational efficiency of the business. To arrive at the ratio, the formula is operating profit multiplied by 100 divided by revenue from operations. The answer is in percentage. Now we can arrive at the operating profit depending on the information that we have. Where the gross profit is given, we can use the formula gross profit plus other operating income minus other operating expenses. Where the net profit before tax is given, we can use the formula net profit before tax plus non-operating expenses minus the non-operating income. And where the revenue from operations is given, we can use the formula revenue from operations minus the operating cost. Now we've seen two terms here called non-operating expense and non-operating income. We'll see how to arrive at that in detail. Non-operating expenses are expenses which are not incurred to earn the profit. Examples are interest paid on long-term debt, any charities or donations given, loss on the sale of fixed assets as well as investments, and any extraordinary loss arising due to theft, fire, and so on. Non-operating incomes, on the other hand, are incomes that are not earned due to the operating activities of the business. Examples are rent received, interest received, dividend received, and gain on sale of fixed assets and investments. that the operating profit ratio and operating ratio are complementary to each other, and thus the sum of the two ratios will be equal to 100, which means that where one of the two ratios is deducted from 100, the other ratio is obtained. Operating ratio plus the operating profit ratio will be equal to 100%. So let's say that the operating ratio is given as 80%. Then we know that the operating profit ratio is 100 minus 80%, or in other words 20%. So we've seen operating profit ratio also, and the relationship between operating ratio and operating profit ratio. We'll move on to the next ratio called net profit ratio. The fourth ratio, net profit ratio. It establishes the relationship between net profit and revenue from operations or net sales. Net profit ratio is an indicator of the overall efficiency of the business. The net profit ratio, where the net profit before tax has to be taken, we will use the formula net profit before tax multiplied by 100 divided by revenue from operations and get the answer in percentage. If the net profit after tax figure is given, we can use the formula net profit after tax multiplied by 100 divided by revenue from operations. As for CBSE guidelines, the net profit ratio has to be calculated on the basis of both profit before tax as well as profit after tax. So we need to calculate both these ratios based on net profit before tax as well as net profit ratio based on net profit after tax. To get the amount of net profit before tax, the formula is gross profit minus all indirect expenses plus all indirect income. And to arrive at the amount of net profit after tax, we will use the formula gross profit minus all indirect expenses plus all indirect incomes minus the tax paid. So please calculate the net profit ratio using both net profit before tax as well as the net profit after tax figures. We've completed the fourth ratio called the net profit ratio. We'll move on to the fifth ratio called the return on investment or return on capital employed ratio. The fifth ratio is return on investment or return on capital employed ratio. Shows the relationship between net profit before interest and tax and the capital employed. This ratio helps to assess the overall performance or profitability of the enterprise. We need to arrive at this ratio by applying the formula net profit before interest, tax and dividend multiplied by 100 divided by capital employed. The answer will be in percentage. Now the capital employed figure can be arrived at by using the liability side approach as well as the asset side approach. We'll begin with using the liability side approach. We need to take the long-term debt plus the shareholders' funds minus non-trade investment. The long-term debt and the shareholders' funds will arrive at using the same procedure which we used to determine the long-term debt and the equity or shareholders' funds in the debt to equity ratio under the head of solvency ratios. Using the asset approach, we can arrive at the capital employed by using the formula fixed asset plus the trade investment plus long-term loans and advances plus working capital. We will recall here that the working capital is nothing but current assets minus the current liabilities. Now let's understand what trade investment is and what non-trade investment is. Trade investment is an investment made by one company in the shares and debentures of another company, not being its subsidiary, for the purpose of promoting the trade or business of the first company. Investment other than a trade investment is called non-trade investment. And please remember this assumption that unless specified otherwise, all non-current investments are assumed to be trade investments. So where nothing is specified, all non-current investments will be considered as trade investments. We should also remember this very important note. Now, while calculating the profit before interest, tax and dividend, exclude income from non-operating assets. Example of such income from non-operating asset is interest on non-trade investments. The reason is because the non-operating asset itself, such as non-trade investment, is excluded while arriving at the amount of the capital employed. So we've completed the last ratio under this head of profitability ratios.